If you've watched as much Great British Baking Show or Bake Off as I have, you'll know that one of the hardest things to do when you're making a pie is avoiding a soggy bottom. Ding! Oh, excuse me, that's my oven. Ooh. Well, when you're writing a novel, one of the hardest things to do is avoid a soggy middle. What's a soggy middle, you ask? Well, a soggy middle is when you have a pretty exciting beginning, like a kickoff to your story, and you have a pretty good ending in mind. So like if I was writing a novel about a pie maker, maybe my beginning is when she gets entered into the pie making competition, and that's a pretty strong kickoff. And my big finale is going to be when she's like in the finale of the competition going up against her arch nemesis, like the other pie makers. Those are two pretty solid events, beginning and ending. But a soggy middle happens when, to get from this place to this place, you kind of run out of story, the twists and turns don't work, your whole novel just kind of sucks. So, right now, I'm going to give you 3 tips for building momentum and tension in the middle of your story's plot to avoid that soggy middle. 1, make a list of your main character's weaknesses and then brainstorm a list of events or activities that will challenge them at those weak points. So maybe my main character, the pie maker, has stage fright and a bad temper. Those are some weaknesses. So then I could brainstorm some scenes where maybe she messes up in front of a camera, she has to work through that. Or maybe there's a scene when she loses her temper and yells at the judges. You can also do this with strengths. So you can make a list of your main character's strengths and then brainstorm some scenes where those strengths are challenged and maybe they're not as strong as they thought they were. Okay, 2, make a list of every supporting character in your story and then write a few sentences about your main character's relationship to them. Try to think of tension points, places where your main character will disagree or clash with those supporting characters or be challenged by them. So for example, maybe my pie maker's brother is also a baker and he's jealous of her success. And her mother always wanted her to be a lawyer, and so she thinks baking is dumb, and there's some tension. And maybe her friend from school who signed her up for the challenge in the first place secretly, but now she thinks my pie maker is kind of getting like a big head from all of the attention. So those are some relationships and some tensions, and I think I could write some pretty good scenes in the middle to keep that momentum going. Okay, 3. Think of the jobs your character has or settings that they move through and brainstorm a list of specific challenges related to those jobs or settings. So readers love learning new things about worlds that they're being introduced to. And another fun part, I think it's fun, is it might involve some research. So for example, I could do some research about pie making, even though I'm pretty much an expert. I could do some research about competition shows, TV, and then using that research, I could brainstorm some problems that might come up in those worlds for my main character. So like, for example, my list could include soggy bottoms, or maybe my main character has to learn how to bake with gluten-free flour, or maybe she's trying to get a loan to start a bakery and has to figure out how to attract customers and learns about advertising. Maybe the competition show makeup artist is like trying to make my main character over into a totally different person. So all of these are job or setting specific challenges that I can turn into scenes that keep the conflict building in the middle of my novel. Okay, so by combining some of the events from these lists, plus the scenes that are more directly related to your main conflict, which you probably already have in your head, you should end up with a middle that stays crisp and exciting instead of getting soggy. Good luck, bakers. Writers. For more writing tips like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out at NaNoWriMo.org.